That was Kyon reacting to the unexpected return of Ryoko Asakura in the movie The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, the feature-length adaptation of the fourth novel in the popular Haruhi Suzumiya series of light novels. Helmed by TV series directors Tatsuya Ishihara and Yasuhiro Takimoto, the movie takes place days before Christmas, when Kyon, the sardonic narrator and reluctant partner in crime/victim of the titular character, comes to school on December 18th and discovers that Suzumiya is gone and none of his classmates have heard of her. In her place is Asakura, whom we last encountered in the first novel and TV story arc, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Furthermore, Itsuki Koizumi and his entire class is nowhere to be found. Mikuru Asahina is no longer a time traveler and doesn't recognize him. And Yuki Nagato is a painfully shy girl instead of an emotionless alien android. It's up to Kyon to figure out why the world has righted itself from the upside-down one he was living in before. Who or what is responsible for changing it? How can he change it back? And most importantly, whether he really wants to do that. When Kyoto Animation turned the Endless 8 short story into a ponderous, multi-episode arc for the second season of the TV series, they nearly destroyed all goodwill they previously earned from their audience. However, Kyon utters a similar phrase in both that story arc and this movie, thereby connecting the two and making the events of the former the unspoken catalyst for the events of the latter. As a result, the method behind the madness of the Endless 8 TV episodes is almost justified, which is an indication of just how good this movie is. The animators, who are already known for having produced better than average TV animation for all 2 seasons of The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, show what they can accomplish with a movie-sized budget. The backgrounds are full of detail, making the characters seem like they're inhabiting a real world. The minutiae of the non-static images were not overlooked either, from the patterns on winter scarves, to the contents of bento boxes, to even a subtle change in coloring when a character moves into a brighter area. Reflections, a motif used throughout the film, are everywhere. Instead of animating the film at 8 frames per second, the typical frame rate of anime, the animators vary from 8 to 12 to 24. There are slow motion sequences, like the one at the beginning of this review, that were executed at 24 frames per second, whereas most other animators would have resorted to fading between key frames to suggest slow motion. If you've seen the trailers for the movie, you've heard part of Eric Satie's Gymnopédie used prominently. Performed by pianist Seiji Honda and otaku-friendly orchestra Eminence, his set of compositions, as well as those by series composers Satoru Kosaki and others, are pieces that are more classical and orchestral than we're accustomed to from the TV series, and yet they dovetail very well with the visuals of the movie. The cast from the TV series has returned to voice the characters for the film, and they deliver as usual. Minori Chihara, the voice actress for Nagato, also performs the closing theme song Yasashi wo Hyaku, or Gentle Oblivion, a haunting ballad that undoubtedly has left at least a few audience members with misty eyes by the time the end credits finish. In addition, she and Tomokazu Sukita, the voice actor for Kyon, stand out with their performances. Their characters go to places emotionally we haven't seen before in the TV series, and they step up their game to meet the challenge set by the story. And it's the story that makes this movie special. Praised in general by fans as the best of the series, the novel was translated almost exactly to the silver screen. Screenwriter Fumihiko Shimon did make some minor changes, but fortunately they were for the better. Some details in the novel that were glossed over or left without accompanying visuals were fleshed out, while the location of one important scene near the end of the original story was altered, all resulting in more emotional resonance. However, at over 2.5 hours long, some may not have the patience to sit through scenes between the more exciting moments of the movie. Also, Kyon, and to a lesser extent Nagato, are the focus of this movie, as suggested by some of the promotional material released for the film. If you're hoping for plenty of screen time devoted to Suzumiya and the other members of the SOS Brigade, you may be disappointed. In addition, the movie assumes you have seen or read most of the previous stories. Without that prior experience, you may not understand the meaning behind some of what the characters say or do. As of the date of this review, it's available officially in non-subtitled format only on Japanese Blu-ray and DVD. ProWare Multimedia International in Taiwan will be releasing it with Chinese subtitles in January 2011. Bandai Entertainment is expected to release it with an English dub in North America in the spring, while Manga Entertainment UK has scheduled it to release for this summer. Fan subtitled versions in English and other languages can be found on torrent sites around the net. The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya may not be for the uninitiated, but for existing fans of this series, this story of loss, yearning, and self-discovery is the return to form that we've been waiting for since the second season.